But yeah, so that's what we did. We literally left right after the first match, and we got back halfway through New Day War Raiders. Yeah, we didn't get to see entrances for New Day and War Raiders, right?
The War Raiders could have came out on a damn ship.
On a tank.
We don't know.
And we don't know.
We just don't know because we
decided
to start the face with
well,
shit.
we saved the ship for us. So welcome to Pod-A-Mania.
Hey.
This is our night one reactions of Wrestlemania 41.
Indeed.
My name is Dylan. His name is Eddie.
Wait a minute. No. My name's Dylan. Your name's Eddie.
And I'm Devin Pullum. Devin James.
So the one in the Lakers jersey is Matthew McIntosh, my GOAT.
Ron.
And the one in the Seth freaking Rollins shirt is Devin Pullum, my GOAT. And producer for the night is my lovely girlfriend. Tree.
I just want to say something.
What's
I
up?
dropped the Pullum. I'm a James.
Oh, you're a James?
Yes, I'm a James.
Devin James. I respect that.
So this is going to...
F the P.
F the P. Fuck the revival.
This is going to be our night one reactions to WrestleMania 41.
Yeah.
We watched most of it together.
Indeed we did.
What do we think, boys? I think we start off with the triple threat, to be honest.
It's our instant reaction.
We get into the heat.
Y'all don't see the board sitting right there, but we all have predictions. I was the only one that picked Seth freaking Rollins to win. You see it on the shirt. All these guys wanted the bootlicker CM Punk to win.
That's crazy.
Go back to AEW where you came from.
Okay.
That is
You need to calm your ass down.
Yeah, that's crazy work. We're all tied at 4 except Matt only got 3.
Because
sorry.
The people didn't have to
Fell
spell
short
shit.
just like your Lakers.
Okay.
I shouldn't have moved the mic for that.
Fell short just like the Lakers.
I was watching
crazy.
watching the same match you did. Right. Nowhere in this build did I ever see him siding with Seth Rollins at all.
At all.
They teased that he had a favor because he didn't stomp his head,
which I absolutely despise.
2-3 weeks ago. It's terrible. So it's just like, this is a new, unique direction for Seth Rollins, of course.
I got you.
But CM Punk deserved to be the winner of this match. Let's be real.
I had a very, I would say, visceral reaction because
I wish y'all could see it, bro.
Yeah,
He's crashing the fuck out.
To put it simply, I know the possibilities, what could happen from this, but I don't understand right now, okay? And I would like you guys actually to explain to me because we had a conversation afterwards.
Yeah.
And we don't seem to be watching the same exact thing. I didn't think the build for this match, you put your 3 best people in the ring, you put them together, and you see what magic can be done, all right? These 3 have a lot of history, okay? When Punk basically said, I brought you guys into this, and I'm going to take you out, they should have dove in so much deeper into that and made this rivalry pure hatred for one another. Pure hatred for one another. But it seemed like it was a Paul Heyman, like everything was based upon Paul Heyman. And that's no disrespect to the Hall of Famer because of the character that he's built over the years. But when you put your 3 best guys in the ring together, and not only that, but they have history, it needs to be pure, unadulterated hatred. And I feel like we just didn't get that. I didn't get enough of that. Me personally, I didn't get enough of that.
I can see exactly where you're coming from with that, but also I think you have to realize CM Punk brought them in just as Paul brought him in, right? So everything spawns from Paul Heyman. There is no CM Punk without Paul Heyman, which in turn means there's no Shield without Paul Heyman. And there's no Roman Reigns tribal chief without Paul Heyman. The only person in the match who didn't have history with the wise man was Seth Rollins, right? So, and I think me and you had the conversation last week. WWE's looking for the Undertaker 16-0 guy every year, right? And how do you get that? How do you get that reaction? And that visceral reaction you had, I think is exactly what they're looking for. That, oh my God, wait, why is Seth getting Paul Heyman? The favor was dumb. I think that that's on purpose, right? And and I understand where you're coming from, where like the build wasn't exactly what you wanted, pure adult hatred, right? But I think we're getting that eventually, because we're eventually getting Roman and Seth one-on-one, and I think that's where the hatred comes out. When we get that one-on-one match, that's where it's like, oh shit, they hate each other. I think Punk Rollins, we already had. We went to Raw and Mania. We saw the pure hatred between Seth and Punk, right?
Sure.
And then we're going to eventually get Punk Reigns with that hatred, right?
Yeah,
But I think Paul Heyman being the catalyst of the story is okay.
I think this okay.
Do you get where I am okay with it? Because that's what you were asking for. Is why are we okay with it?
I think this should have been the ending to the CM Punk Seth Rollins feud. I think this should have been basically the catapult to Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns at the next WrestleMania, probably.
Right.
I don't think that storyline is over. I think Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins still have a story together to tell. But I think Seth Rollins winning this match is it chooses the least unique character in this build to say, hey, I'm a wise man and I'm going to be in your corner. I think for the last couple of weeks we've been trying to ponder whether or not like the best in the world needs Paul Heyman or the tribal chief needs Paul Heyman. We've never seen Paul Heyman with Seth Rollins. So this is something new. This is something to build a different dynamic that we've never seen before. Do I think it's the right choice? No, I don't think it's the right choice at all. Because now what's CM Punk doing? What's Roman Reigns doing?
I want to say this. Reigns versus Rollins, it's going to happen sooner than that Mania. And I'm the best way for that to wrap is someone takes a bit of a break. They come back, screw someone over. Most likely Reigns, because he's the show up whenever he wants guy.
Yeah.
And then
And he earned that.
Yeah. They're feuding back and forth either on Raw or SmackDown, which leads up to a mega match at SummerSlam.
I agree with this because I think you're talking about they should be building Reigns Rollins. Did they not just do that? Because Roman Reigns just got screwed over by the wise man who is now siding with Seth Rollins. You are setting up Roman Seth for either next year's WrestleMania or SummerSlam. That is now the direct feud. CM Punk is out of the equation. He wasn't pinned. He really didn't lose the. You know how a triple threat works. You lose the match, but if you weren't a part of the finish, you basically just come out the next week and be like, "Oh, I didn't really lose. Someone else got pinned." CM Punk can go on to greener pastures, go face Jey Uso, turn Jey Uso heel with crash out Jey Uso, then you have CM Punk, or you do something like that. But you get what I'm saying? Like CM Punk is now a non-factor in this. I think that the Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, CM Punk story is now over. I think that CM Punk is now out of this. It is now Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and the wise man.
Genuinely, I think the most ignorant viewer could have viewed this rivalry as like CM Punk being a non-zero factor. I think the most ignorant viewer could have viewed this as Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns. I think the most, like, the person that has been paying attention since last WrestleMania could have said, hey, Roman versus Seth is going to happen eventually. Why is the Pepsi phone ringing? Why is Pepsi Phil here?
Do you guys know what the Pepsi phone is,
I was
by
literally
the
about
way?
to ask, what does that mean?
Okay, so they haven't been watching
Well,
the
that
pod.
means-
That means that they lied about watching the pod.
I never said.
So every time, so
I never said that either.
Actually, you did.
you did. He watched the first 20 minutes. That the Pepsi phone doesn't ring till about 30 minutes into the show. So never. He hates you. Take the mic when you're gonna talk.
You're my Roman and I'm Seth.
Does that make me CM Punk?
Does that make me the wise
I
man?
don't listen.
Hold on.
I don't want to
just
be.
want to say something. I don't hate you like Seth hates.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
I don't want to be Roman. I want to be Solo Sikoa.
That's my tribal chief.
That is my tribal. That is my.
Well, you're my dog.
I love Solo Sikoa.
Yeah, I mean, do we have our final thoughts?
Oh wait,
on Punk
wait,
Roman
sorry.
Seth,
The Pepsi phone is because CM Punk has the Pepsi tattoo on his arm.
Yeah.
So every time he comes and talks, we say the Pepsi phone's ring. The Pepsi phone. Oh, the Pepsi phone. So the Pepsi phone is CM Punk.
He also has a Cobra tattoo, so we don't call him nothing with the.
No, because the Cobra is Santino Marella.
Like CM Joe or like.
Do you? When I
GI
think of
Punk?
Cobra, I think of.
Oh, like Santino?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You think when you really?
When I hear Cobra, yeah.
That's a choice.
Or Cobra Kai. Or Cobra Kai, but I'm not going to call him Jaden Smith in the Karate Kid.
I'm not. Look, I'm not. I'm not going to lie. I'm not thinking about G.I. Joe.
No, there's no chance.
You know what I'm thinking about? G.I. Yeet. Yeet! Jey Uso versus Gunther.
Fire match.
Jey Uso is our new world heavyweight champion.
Can we get clap for that?
Claps, 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 claps.
Come on, a little clap. I'm clapping.
Why are you not clapping?
I have free hands. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
So
That's actually our clap so Eddie can sync the audio and video.
I will say
almost got hit in the head by a bite.
I will say that Gunther versus Jey Uso was probably the most like 50-50, 55-45 match of the night. If we didn't want to include like Naomi versus Jade, I mean, looking at the board, we were all kind of guessing the same people throughout the night.
There's a couple mismatches. So when we talk about the board, we have a whiteboard with drinking games, which we didn't even play, and match predictions. Woo! So we have night one match predictions. We have everybody in here, including our friend Duff. We're all tied at 4. Matt got 3 because he went Naomi, which, honestly, I did the same thing with Gunther, so I understand where you're at and why you did it.
You gotta get emotional.
He said you get emotional.
I got emotional.
But yeah, so Jey Uso, Gunther, I think I'm going to give my thoughts first. Opening match of the night, it took him like 10 minutes to get to the ring.
Can we talk about the ridiculous ad that they did right before Jay's?
Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the opening ad. So Final,
That was
what was it?
bad.
Final Fury?
It was final. It was, I think it was
Fatal Fury.
Fatal Fury. Yeah,
Fatal
yeah.
Fury, the mobile game,
Yes.
with Asian subtext
Yes.
as well.
It's a
So
mobile
it's
game,
a
by the way.
mobile game
No
from the
PS5,
East.
No, yeah.
And they just got to open the show
Yes.
and do an ad right off rip into Jey Uso's entrance. I hate it.
That was
I get
the
that
worst
it's your
thing
main
ever,
sponsor, but
yeah.
don't open the show with your main sponsor.
And it was in the middle of the ring the entire night,
The-
so we weren't
the
avoiding
whole
it.
night.
We weren't avoiding it.
We were
so,
going
I
to
mean,
see it eventually. You did not have to open that.
Very redundant.
But
It was
we
very
get Jey
redundant.
Uso coming to the ring from the crowd. What were you going to say?
Where is Snickers at? Why are they not on the center?
Well, they had 20 ads, like commercials-wise, on Peacock.
They should be on the
Hey, I see Snickers right there next to
Oh,
the,
yeah. Behind us on the camera
But
is
I
the
don't want to
post-show
see.
as well.
I don't want to see a game that I'll probably never play at the center of the ring. It's one thing that Fortnite is there during Raw, right?
But Rhea Ripley's in Clash of Clans, and Cody Rhodes and
They could have
Undertaker
put Clash
on
of Clans
Fortnite.
there. They could have
Okay.
done. They could have done that.
But
Finally.
I think to compare the ad break before the match and to compare the results to the actual match, what do we think of Jey Uso being our new world heavyweight champion, guys?
I lost prediction, but I'm so happy.
Heavy yeet champion.
I'm very, very proud of him because
It's
I mentioned like when he used to have him and his brother had the face paint on and they weren't really anything, and like to see him now as like because you kind of, I mean, just like going through the day to day when you just grinding and like trying to like chase your goals and your dreams like that, and constantly being told no, and constantly being like let down and kind of getting used to disappointment.
And now being 40,
Yeah.
and you're kind of at the. He even said he's at the tail end of his career.
Right. Yeah. It's inspiring. Really, it's really inspiring to me. So I'm really freaking happy for him, man. Like,
despite some tweets earlier today saying that Javon Evans is the next generation's Jeff Hardy, I do think Jey Uso is a strong contender for that spot. I think he is definitely bringing joy to
Right.
all the kids
No,
that
for
are
sure.
watching the
Absolutely.
WWE product.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, I do think that Jey Uso's title reign will be very short. It will be like 30 to 60 to 90
All right, guys,
days.
we're going to be honest. When he won the title, we were all happy. We all know I chose Gunther just because I loved the reign he had, and I don't think he should have ever dropped the belt ever. He should have held it for a million years.
But I mean, following up on...
But I'm so happy for him, but I said 90 days max. And I think 90 days is a great reign for him.
Following up on Punk, Roman, Seth, Seth is getting that title, guys.
Mm-hmm.
He has to get
that's
it back.
That's the next match, right?
It's the next thing.
My only thing is if Jey turns heel, he's keeping that longer.
No, I think Seth's the heel in that, by the way.
For sure.
They have a thing of keeping people face too long until the yeet dies. Like in this exact scenario.
Seth Rollins will turn into some corporate schmuck. And he will wear suits, and he will laugh maniacally but calmly.
I just hope that he doesn't go back to that Messiah theme.
But what I don't like about him having the wise man is he can talk for himself. I feel like the whole point of putting Roman... You can grab the mic because we're going to agree on this.
Yes.
I think the whole point of putting Paul Heyman on Roman Reigns 5 years ago was Roman needs someone to talk for him and push him forward and get him there. Roman has gained the ability to talk for himself. He has been beautiful with the mic recently. I've brought it up on multiple occasions. When he has the mic in his hand, I'm going to listen from now on. But Seth doesn't need the mouthpiece. CM Punk doesn't need the mouthpiece. No. I don't think Heyman should be on any one of these three. No. You know who Heyman should be with is, I think, Braun Breaker. Someone who can't really talk for themselves yet. Right. Someone who is young, hungry, I'm a St. Louis Cardinal, a youngry talent that needs help with the mouthpiece that can build it to there.
And that was part of my frustration at the end of the match, because the main thing I was like, is like, what are they going to do? Seth is already so talented when it comes to cutting promos. He is Monday Night Rollins, right? So when you add Paul Heyman into that, it kind of feels like it messes up Seth's dynamic, Seth's own flow. You know, even before CM Punk started coming in, even when CM Punk got there, I was still someone saying Seth, this is still your show. Yeah. This is still your thing, and I genuinely believe that. So I'm not upset that Seth won the match, all right? But I'm upset at the fact that it's just okay, Paul basically burned bridges with Roman, completely burned a bridge with Punk to build something with a guy that he doesn't really, I don't think he's going to do a lot for, because Seth already kind of has it, you know? And you kind of bring up that corporate champion thing. He already did that with the Authority, you know, and the Authority was I couldn't stand the Authority. So it's are we just going to run that back again? And
I think I'm going to say what he's going to say.
I don't know.
This is a little bit different though, right? I think that's where you're going.
It's bigger.
It's bigger than that because it's Dwayne Johnson and it's John Cena. And now it's potentially the wise man, potentially Seth. But also, I think Seth's been a little stale, and not in a bad way, where it's we've kind of had the same Seth for a long time. This revitalizes Seth, and it gives Seth a chance to really only focus on the matches and not focus on being the mouthpiece. Or, we've never seen Heyman really bounce back and forth with his talent. They can do a thing here where Seth talks, Paul talks. Paul talks, Seth talks, and they bounce back and forth in the ring together and talk to each other.
Imagine if Seth Rollins does the Enzo Amore little shuffle.
I like it.
But just having a back and forth with Paul Heyman. Now Paul Heyman doesn't have to only talk for himself. And I think that's something that's really interesting to think about when going back to that. I know we're supposed to be talking about Jey Uso, Gunther, but I think we all agree, really happy for Jey Uso. Gunther, I think we all agree, was a great champion, is one of the best champions in WWE when he has it. I think we all agree the submission was a little wild.
That was insane, because I thought that was an unprotected, it doesn't protect Gunther at all.
I think it puts Gunther out of action for a little bit so he can take a break.
Yeah.
Gunther is definitely taking a break after this. He's taking a vacation with his wife, or whatever he's gonna do. Hopefully he returns. Probably going into an Ilya Dragunov feud after he
at Clash at Paris. Yeah. They just announced Clash at Paris, so that'll be the European fight. Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, we got a lot of choices for both of these opponents, Jey Uso and Gunther, post this match. I think the opportunities are endless.
And then
let's
we
get
into New Day War Raiders. I'm gonna go in
I-
order of the show now that we did the triple threat.
So I was gonna go from interest, most interest to least interest.
No, because then I kind of want to mix it.
All right.
Because I just think that makes it better because then more retention.
Yeah.
New Day War Raiders happened. I think that's kind of how we're all going to feel about it.
Yeah.
It happened. New Day won in a slimy way where we were all like, if New Day's going to win, they're going to win in a slimy, like, come from behind, sneak the victory. He held the leg down so it couldn't get on the rope. I think me and Devin talked about this before you came today, Matt. This is kind of just revitalizing the tag division in a sense of, like, the Raw tag division's been a little stale, and this New Day run needed something for it to matter. Like, they turned heel, and then that was it. No, they turned heel, they got everyone to boo them, and now they have the belts. And every night they show up with the belts, everyone's just mad they won it. And it creates something for the crowd, right? Because on SmackDown, we have this interwoven, everyone thinks they deserve the title because they all lost it in some BS way. But on Raw, it was kind of just like the War Raiders were beating everybody. And now we have a fun thing with the New Day getting booed every night. Boo Day is what I'm going to start saying. And I think that was an interesting way to end that. I don't think anybody really saw it ending that way because not many people had New Day. More people in here did, but I think in the general wrestling landscape.
I switched my prediction to War Raiders because they're just incredible. I didn't want them losing the belt at all.
I think I would have chosen, if New Day was going to win, I think I would have chosen maybe in an escalation of like the Big E storyline.
Yeah.
Of either him screwing them, or like them winning the belts and then being like, you haven't been out here to help us.
We don't need you to win the titles.
Yeah. So I think there is still a little bit of lacking substance there between the New Day and the War Raiders. I think my complaints that we saw this just 2 weeks ago are as valid as they'll ever be.
We should have done the SmackDown TLC tonight.
That's what I said too.
Am I upset that this match happened tonight? No. Would I have rathered the SmackDown Tag Team Championships? Of course.
Absolutely.
Would I have rathered a SmackDown Women's U.S. Championship? Of course.
Yeah.
Or instead of having Liv and Raquel go against our IC Women's Champion, have our Women's IC Champion face Bayley instead of having Bayley get knocked out on the pre-show.
Yeah,
I am
who is
pissed that Chelsea Green is not on the WrestleMania card.
And so am I. And I think
She's had such a great year.
The secret harvest, man.
Like, I agree.
Come on, man. That whole gimmick, the whole character build that they're doing with the Green administration.
But also, I think when you have El Grande Americano come out, and then Chelsea Green the next night when she's not even American, she's Canadian.
She is Canadian. She is Canadian, but she has the attitude of an American.
No, I think that she should have had a Mania match.
For sure.
But I think Kevin Owens and getting hurt stopped Chelsea Green from having an open challenge. Because I think having two open challenges,
it would have been a lot
in a card is like, really, we have two open challenges. I think that kind of pushed away because there was talks about it.
Tomorrow is going to be a lot of multi-man matches.
I'm excited for tomorrow, but I think tomorrow's card's a little weaker in a sense.
Yeah, we talked about it in the card.
It's a pretty even card. I think they did a good job making it even, but I think today was a little more like...
More stories were told today.
I think tomorrow's more matches other than Cody Cena because Cody fought through the boos on Friday. I know we're not going to have a SmackDown episode this week. Sorry. But on SmackDown, Cody talked through the boos and called him overrated and like went in on him. And it was probably one of my favorite Cody promos. And he turned the boos to cheers. And you know behind the scenes, Cena's like, dog, the fact that you could do that shows a lot about who you are. Because a lot of people cower at those boos and give in. But he fought through.
You saw it on Cena's face. He was like, oh my goodness.
We'll talk more tomorrow later on, but I think that's a good way to go. I think now we'll jump to Naomi and Jade. That was my prediction for women's match of the weekend. And so far, it was the women's match of tonight, in my opinion. Would
If
you guys
we-
agree?
I thought it was fantastic.
If we're not including NXT, for sure.
Yeah, I don't.
It
And
is-
because
it
Sol
is-
Ruka was unreal.
It is the women match of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's much like the only other women's match we have is the tag team championship match
and the triple threat.
and the triple threat.
And then Tiffany versus.
No, that one happened.
that already
I'm
happened.
saying I think
Okay,
Naomi
okay.
Jade was better than that one. We'll get to that match later.
But I
Dude.
mean, I guess the triple threat has a little bit of an opportunity to like perform better than this one.
Right.
But Naomi versus Jade for sure. They beat the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, they did.
dude, that
They
I
did,
know
yeah.
this. Do you want to talk about that spot with Naomi?
Oh yeah,
Dude, so there was I don't know if you got to see this. The spot that me and Matt were like literally sitting there and jaw dropped staring at each other.
Right.
They were both on the top rope and Naomi turned, got caught by the legs down up into the bulldog. I forget what that's called. Forget the other moves. That spot on the second rope was unreal. It
That
shows
was-
how
but-
strong Jade is. And it just shows how good
But
Naomi is.
that wasn't even the full showcase of Jade's strength, though. Jade put Naomi on her shoulders, carried her around, and then flipped her up in the air and flipped her into a dang power bomb.
Dude, that was
I
unreal.
understand, like we understand that Jade is a specimen and they've built this character, but tonight we saw it. She actually displayed that athletic ability and that explosive power in a way that we have I've never seen nothing like that before. Because she didn't just hold her on her shoulders for a little bit and then go into the move. She was carrying this woman around the ring and then did it. So Jade Cargill is for real. The push needs to come yesterday.
I think something,
but I'm like seriously, that was the most insane thing I've seen in a very
I think
long time.
something that I failed to consider when I was making my predictions, and I think this will shine tomorrow for sure because we have the triple threat. But since Jade won, I think we're getting Jade versus Bianca.
That's what you've been saying.
And I think Bianca's winning the match tomorrow.
As much as I think Naomi's getting involved in that match tomorrow.
Naomi,
I'm sorry.
Dude, no. See, me and you were going to say the same thing. I think Naomi's going to lose it for Bianca, and then Jade's going to come out and beat the bricks off Naomi again for coming out there, and they're going to have that triple threat be the next big women's match. And I think it's between Rhea and Io, and I don't think they're going to drop it off Io. This is me being an Io fan thing, and I completely understand why they would give the belt to Bianca to make that triple threat a title match. I completely get that, but I think they've been doing a thing recently where they want to tell these stories without a belt to show that we don't need a belt to show that a feud matters.
I don't think Triple H wants to put the belt on a black wrestler.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Tonight showed me a lot different.
And you got to
Both
remember,
tag team champions are black.
For now.
But we actually no, dude. The craziest part is we were talking about that before you even got here. That's been
that was
talk
one of the main
night.
reasons why I switched mine, because I was like, oh, Jay won. They're not gonna have New Day take the titles off. That was my whole thing. I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch to the War
Motor
Raiders.
City Machine Guns are winning next Friday. Oh, come on now.
Yeah, they're not gonna keep it for long. It's Triple H.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. I think for now it's exciting to see Jade win. Tomorrow, whether or not Io Sky wins or Bianca is our new champion,
I don't think Rhea has a chance.
anything other than Rhea.
She doesn't,
There's just no reason for her to win it.
because she
and
won back-to-back Manias, right? She
'Cause I
won in
th-
Los Angeles and Philadelphia.
Because I
She
think
doesn't need this.
we reiterate that she has been champion for a while. She has had this opportunity to be a champion, to hold the title, to be the face of the women's roster for a year or two, and to give that to somebody that's, you know, young and up and coming like Jade or, you know, Bianca.
I don't think you can call Bianca young up and coming. She's had the belt multiple times. That's just a picky thing for me.
Hey.
And she's like, Matt, go.
She's like a 96 in 2K. I don't know about like up and coming. You know what I'm saying? Like 96 is pretty high. You know.
Black don't crack.
Type
Type shit.
But moving on, I think the most surprising win of the night. El Grande Americano beat Rey FENIX after I'm carrying cross. I'm the predictor. It's me. I called it on Twitter. Rey FENIX was taking over for Rey Mysterio. I am the predictor. But who in their right mind predicts that El Grande Americano wins a WrestleMania match over Rey FENIX and doesn't get unmasked?
I know. My thing is, does he win if Rey Mysterio's in that match?
Yes.
Yeah.
So he wins regardless.
After the way that match went, I think that was the plan the whole damn time.
But hold on. If they had, hypothetically on a different timeline, if Rey Mysterio lost to El Grande Americano, that is just a slap in the face to the
Lucha.
entire Lucha community.
Hey, but
especially considering
we
the fact
bought AAA though. We bought AAA though.
And they had El
We
Grande
love Lucha
Americano.
Libre.
And then they advertise it again after
We
he
love
won.
Lucha.
You remember they advertised them buying AAA again
dude.
after Grande Americano won.
I know we've been saying
That's insane work.
You know what I'm saying? It's a little disrespectful.
I
you
know
what I'm
we've
saying?
been
Just a little.
saying we feel bad for Dragon Lee, but I feel bad for Rey FENIX.
Dude,
I feel
I
bad
do-
for
I
Rey
do
why
too.
does he lose his first Mania match?
First
Because he gets
Mania
filled
match.
in.
It's terrible.
I think Ray beats him and he unmasks him. I think
I
this
agree.
kind of threw everything for a whack, and I think they want Rey Mysterio to unmask him because it's like, oh, respect Lucha. And this doesn't. But also, El Grande Americano is really good. Like, it's Chad Gable, I know. But he's so good at his
No, it's
job.
not.
And he's been good for years.
his ass should have stayed in Europe. Chad Gable deserved the Mania match way more than this masked freak. This metal-faced masked freak.
Who the hell does he think he
Who
is?
does he think he is taking a match
the
away
big,
from
the big
Chad
American?
Gable?
There ain't no big American. Heck, no.
Okay,
man.
but his entrance was so funny with the
It was, yeah, that
with
was-
the lucha band and
that
him
was so-
pointing
that was
about,
extra. That
dude.
was-
It's so. I know Eddie hates this El Grande Americano thing, and I love the El Grande
I
Americano thing.
despise it. I'm with Eddie.
It's stupid.
What are you-
So it's dumb. It's very dumb. It's-
So we're
I
2-2.
think- I think it's
we're
very
2-2 split.
disrespectful.
No, I think it's so
extremely
funny
disrespectful.
though. But it's so
Golf
funny.
of America. Golf of America. You think
See,
it's
it goes back to the storytelling because you remember Nick was it Nick Aldis that said it to Chad Gable? You need to go to Mexico and embrace your luchador.
So Chad Gable said, "I need to learn the art of lucha to beat
dark
them."
arts of
The
lucha?
dark arts of
is what he
lucha.
said.
And
then he comes back with a fucking
he
mask.
didn't come back. That is
with a
not
star
Chad
on his
Gable.
forehead.
Chad's still in Mexico.
That's not Chad Gable.
Chad's in Mexico.
Chad
still.
Gable was at Raw last night, and El Grande Americano came out after they got kicked out of ringside in a different wrestling singlet. It was a different singlet. They're not the same person.
You think Chad Gable is to thank for the AAA sponsorship? For the AAA partnership?
Yeah, he was the one
It's
negotiating.
because of Chad Gable.
He was the main one. The main one.
It was mainly Chad. I'm mad. I'm mad. El Grande Americano wasn't at the signing. Why was Rey FENIX and Penta there, but not El Grande Americano? He's the lucha right now. Him and Penta are the two best luchas in the business right now.
This is how the podcast gets canceled.
I do want to say something.
It's a
though.
work.
You had Vikingo interfere with El Grande Americano versus Rey FENIX. You had one of the best luchadors in the world.
In the world.
Interfere at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and he has
Are you
to
fucking
and he
kidding
has to lose because the old man's knee couldn't take it on SmackDown.
He's 52.
Yeah, right.
He's
yeah,
52
Yeah, he's
years
52.
old.
He's 52 and he made an appearance at WrestleMania After Dark last night. I don't want to hear the excuses.
It's fun.
Oh, he was in the club, bro?
Yes. There's a video on Instagram of him getting introduced at WrestleMania After Dark.
No, that's different. That adds context to the situation.
That's what I was telling you.
If his ass was
not-
if
his
his
ass was
ass
not-
was okay,
His ass was not in the club. His ass was at Hall of Fame. His ass was falling asleep.
Sleeping.
need a fourth mic. They need to be on every episode. They need to be on every episode. This is amazing.
This is terrible.
He was in the club busting down at 52. He should have been stretching for his match tomorrow. He should have been stretching. Should have been doing Pilates and shit. What the hell is he doing? Over here partying. God damn it.
Okay.
And guess what? He wasn't limping. He wasn't selling the fact that he has an injury. He was walking normally.
He was fine. He was fine.
Walking normally in the club.
Okay.
After that many knee injuries. After that many knee injuries, you want him to walk normally?
All right.
But that's my point. He was walking
Order in
normally.
the court. Order in the
calisthenics something. He needed
stem cells.
You saying his ass needs DDPY? His ass needs Lex Luger treatment?
I'm so happy for Lex Luger, by the way, being able to stand up at his Hall of Fame inauguration.
I agree.
So happy for him. All right, to grade it all in, El Grande Americano should not have won this damn match. He should have been unmasked.
Absolutely
If
not.
you were going to end this, stop trying to hug me. If you were trying to tell this story, you end it here, whether it's Rey Fenix, whether it's Rey Mysterio, whether it's Dragon Lee, whether it's any luchador, because the whole point of this is he's disrespecting lucha. Except for Vikingo, because apparently he's not one of the greatest to ever do it in Triple H's eyes.
He's the fucking GOAT.
He's the GOAT. This was where you end this feud. I am the biggest fan. I'm the biggest fan of this. I think it's so funny. I think it's refreshing. I think it's just something the fans are enjoying. I think it's something the fans are enjoying. And I enjoy it more than anyone, but on the board, I picked Rey Fenix because you have a legendary luchador take this mask off him and end this thing, and you showed that it's Omos.
Nobody picked El Grande Americano to win this match.
Nobody!
No one picked the big American to
But
win
also,
this
I
match.
think that's the point. It was one of the bigger swerves of the night. Finally, moving on, we can get into a match that, we're going to be honest, was not on the main screen tonight. It was Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. Was on the second screen. I'm a Knicks fan. Knicks were in the fourth quarter with 5 minutes left. You have to understand where I'm coming from here. It was a close game.
He
but
made an error.
from what we've
He
seen,
made an error.
where did I make an error?
That match should have been on the big show.
No, it was a great match. We watched. I was looking at the smaller TV most of the time because
Yeah.
the Knicks went on an unreal run.
Yeah.
That match was insane. There was a spot where Jacob Fatu did his moonsault and got BFT'd.
in midair.
Oh
that
my
was
god!
insane.
Like, we watched this match. I'm letting you know it was on the secondary screen to tell you who I am as a person. We're gonna be honest here. We're gonna be friends. We're friends. I love you. But
And if you're friends, you should subscribe.
you should subscribe. You should like.
And you should DM him at Pod-A-Mania
DM
Pod.
at Pod-A-Mania Pod right here. Eddie's on Twitter is gonna be right here. Matt's is gonna be above his head. Devin doesn't have a Twitter,
But I have an Instagram.
but he does have an Instagram that I will tell Eddie to put right here. I'm gonna put it right
Yeah,
here.
right here.
And that's our first social mentions of the day. I'm proud of us for waiting this long. It's probably bad for the algorithm and our clicks, but the match was amazing, and Jacob Fatu comes out with the victory. No turn on Solo, nothing. Just flat out beats LA Knight. And honestly, I love it. Jacob Fatu deserved this title. Everyone in the competition for our picks picked Jacob Fatu for a good reason. Eddie, what do you think?
I missed this match.
He was working.
I was working. But I'm so glad Jacob Fatu won the U.S. title. I'm so glad that this is a brand new start. Solo Sikoa did not interfere. Or did he interfere? Was
No,
he a part
he
of
didn't.
it?
It
Not
was
at
clean.
all.
Okay.
He walked
So-
Jacob Fatu to the front of the entrance and let Jacob Fatu go on his own. Right?
So-
He wasn't at ringside. It
No.
was just Jacob Fatu whipping ass.
So I think this is a big step for Jacob Fatu as a superstar individually. I think this is a big step for the U.S. title. I think this is something that we haven't seen. I think this is all about stories that we have not seen before. Any of these WrestleMania matches, I think Jacob Fatu as this new contender, as this new champion, opens up the floor for so many new stories to be told. Most likely him versus Solo.
I hope to God.
will be either the first story told or one of the first stories told.
It'll feed families, man.
I'm not gonna set my expectations that high between him and Solo because I do think Solo is just unprepared to fight a personality, a big superstar like Jacob Fatu. I think there was a point from the fans, from the rumor mill, from the dirt sheets that Jacob Fatu was outshining Solo Sikoa in every form.
During that Roman solo feud.
During that run that they were having together, So I think to make sure that Jacob Fatu is the one this year for sure. I think we have our speculations that Solo will be Randy's opponent tomorrow, but for sure
we will make that prediction after we talk about these matches.
Jacob Fatu is continuing the bloodline story and that third generation superstar story as well as they could. I think if this superstar or this contender was Solo, we wouldn't be as happy. I think if this contender was maybe somebody like Carmelo or somebody like Andrade, we would definitely be happy.
Carmelo won the Andre the Giant. I'm the predictor.
But I don't think we would be as happy. I think this is superstardom in Jacob Fatu, and I think him winning this championship allows a brand new life to be breathed into it. And
especially since he's so beloved too.
Exactly. I love you, Jacob.
I love you, Jacob Fatu. I think I agree with you completely. I think you'll agree completely.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna build off him a little bit, then let you two go. When Jacob came in, you guys remember I was the biggest Jacob guy.
Yep.
I remember I was waiting for him to come. I was showing you guys promos from before he was even before he got here. I was looking at his promos from his indie work, and it's just this is needed. This is what we want. And I think I like what you're saying, but I disagree on the Solo and him feud kind of being not the thing you're most excited about. I think that's the thing I'm most excited about. I think him and Solo. I think that's gonna raise Solo, because I think Solo understands he fell a little flat in that Roman feud, in that Ulafala, the whole thing. I thought it was beautiful. We were yelling, "I love you, Solo," and I think it was really good. I think Solo did great. I think Solo gets a little underappreciated for that run, in the sense of you're tailing Roman fucking Reigns, the guy, the tribal chief, our OTC. It's hard to compete with him. You have to be on another level. But that bloodline storyline was told beautifully. And I think Solo did a good job of being the younger guy to take it from him. And I think that was kind of the point. And I think now you're talking about Jacob Fatu has leapt Solo. And I think Solo is going to be jealous of that. And I think that's what's going to lead to that feud. And I think that's going to elevate both of them. And I think that elevates the U.S. title. And I think that elevates Jacob Fatu into world heavyweight title contention, in the sense of, if you find a way to take that belt off him effectively, does he go after Seth? Does he go after Roman? Does he go after whoever has that belt next? I think this is a slow build into a Jacob Fatu being the number one guy. Would you agree?
I absolutely agree with that. Jacob got pop maybe 2 weeks after he debuted. That's something that hasn't been seen in WWE in a long time, honestly. And you can see over the build that when Solo is talking to someone, forcing them to acknowledge him, the person that's countering that, they always address Jacob. Jacob, if you keep looking at me like that, I'm going to beat your ass. Everybody did it. Cody did it. Jade did it. They all did it. So I feel like this is going to be a slow burn into something spectacular in the end.
I think my main concern, if Jacob Fatu were to fight Solo for this U.S. title, is this is the final nail in the coffin for Solo. If Solo is unable to prove himself as a superstar, to prove himself as a worthy contender for any championship, if he comes out looking weak in this competition against his own cousin, is he supposed to look strong against anybody else? Is he I think Solo as a competitor, if he isn't able to beat Jacob, and we've seen that he's not able to beat Roman, who is he able to beat? Who is he even worthy for any of the for any of these championships?
But is that the story they tell?
I'm going to say this. I'm going to put some intel out there. I worked WrestleMania at SoFi Stadium, and Solo was the first one in and the last guy out. He's a workhorse. And I will say this, it's hard in WWE to go from an enforcer that doesn't say anything and is instructed to do stuff to a guy that has to speak for himself and has a posse behind him to do his work. It's hard. So I understand where he struggles, but I feel like Jacob is actually going to help him develop into that guy that WWE wants him to be.
Or, I don't know. I think me and you have talked about this before. What if they just flip roles and Solo kind of takes the backseat to Jacob and realizes his role in it and just is the manager to Jacob Fatu and is the one who can keep Jacob Fatu's head on his shoulders? Because we've seen multiple times Jacob Fatu will go overboard and lose himself a match. He will go overboard and kill someone, and it kind of hurts him in the end. Is Solo the guy that reins him in? Do you reallocate Solo's abilities into somewhere else?
I think it's just so unfortunate if you do put him in that bodyguard position, in that enforcer role.
But I don't think
it limits Solo as a performer,
because he has a personality.
He has
I'm
a
not
personality. He's
saying-
able to shine.
Right.
And I think my next question to you, Devin, is if more of this Samoan dynasty, more of this family is signed. We see a Zilla Fatu. We see all these other cousins that they can sign. How do they book them without saying, "Hey, you're weaker than your other cousin"? Hey, you're just seeing this story spattered in completely different directions between multiple different competitors. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you do that without making sure that Solo is just an enforcer, or Zilla is just an enforcer, or any of these other new Samoans? I hate calling them that, but any of these new Samoans just end up in these enforcer roles, or just like wall of meat roles.
I'm going to give it to Dylan, and then I'm going to say something.
Before he answers, I want to say that's not what I'm saying Solo is. I'm not saying Solo becomes Jacob's bodyguard. I think Solo becomes his voice of reason. Because we've seen Jacob murder Braun Strowman. We've seen Jacob come out here and demolish people. So what if you make Solo's role in that the container? You contain that till it's needed, right? Because there's so many situations with how Nick Aldis runs. They have Nick Aldis run the show.
Paul to Brock, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Except he's not the mouth. Except he's not the mouthpiece. He's just hey.
Not now.
You don't need that yet.
Not now.
You don't need that
this
yet.
is going to get you in trouble type beat, right? Where it's like, how many times did Paul Heyman have to tell Brock to stop in certain scenarios on Raw, on certain scenarios on pay-per-views where he was killing people, where it's like, hey, relax. We will get them later. That's what I think Solo can be.
When Paul says when Brock takes liberties, that's what I think Solo's going to be there for. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm stopping Jacob from taking you out permanently.
Yeah.
So
And that'll be told in the Roman Jacob story eventually, where Solo can be like, I've protected you. I'm unleashing the werewolf. I'm letting him take you out. We have contained Jacob for so long. We can't do it anymore.
I do wonder if we even get that story eventually, considering what we have right now.
Exactly.
Roman has 4 years on him. I guarantee they're going to do that at one point.
to.
They should at one point, but it's just at this point, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I don't see it happening within the next year at all. I think we wrap things up with the last match we have yet to talk about, which is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair for the women's World Championship.
And I think in the moment Matt had a really good take on the match. So Matt, I'll let you take a little bit on this one. How did you feel about this Tiffy and Charlotte match?
It's two white girls beating each other's ass, man.
That is indeed what it was.
It got personal, and I feel like that really added to my personal intrigue to the match. I like when it gets real, right? It's kind of when WWE is kind of gets their storytelling gets to its best form, in my opinion, especially with like Seth and Punk. that's what really like drew me back into like watching wrestling again. The fact that they actually don't like each other, and when Charlotte kind of went off script and then Tiffany kind of gave it right back to her, it upped the ante a lot, and it made this match a lot more intriguing than the original build was supposed to. Because when Charlotte won the Rumble, I mean, I was here.
Dude, we were
And
pissed.
We were all in the garage together,
we started
so
flipping
mad.
tables. We started,
There's a pool table to your right that you couldn't see, almost got flipped over.
yeah, we started like I smacked Dylan in the head a couple times.
I got 3 more concussions.
He was on the floor laying down and he was
Crying.
Like, call the cops, and it's like, no, shut up, like we can't do that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
I was crying.
Get your ass up.
And I got my ass up.
And I apologized after, but I said,
And
I'm really upset that she won this match. But I mean, I'm glad that Tiffany won. I personally picked Charlotte Flair to win tonight because, listen, when she comes back from injury, Charlotte gets a dang title. All right? I thought they were sticking to the rules tonight. They said nah. And Tiffany handled her business. I'm proud of what she's becoming. She's they kind of try to build her as this this face character. Don't do that. I don't think you should do. Tiffany's an asshole. You have to let her be an asshole. And it was kind of like when you pair her with Charlotte, who is an even bigger asshole, she kind of has to relegate to that face role. But hopefully after this, though, I kind of want to see Tiffany back into like that, at least a tweener stage. I don't like seeing Tiffany all nice and giddy and stuff like that. That's me personally. So.
Yeah, I mean, this story between Tiffany and Charlotte was definitely, basically, it was telling the story between the new guard and the old guard. Whether or not you deserve to be here anymore, whether or not, you can really maneuver and work as fast and as quickly and as good as the new guard, as good as this new generation of superstar that Tiffany Stratton is. These two competitors are showing old generation and new generation, and I think Tiffany Stratton winning this match is what we needed.
We needed it.
If Charlotte won, I don't know what the fuck we would have done. We would have
been big.
He would have been on the
It would have.
floor. I would have whooped his ass
Again.
through the damn table.
No, you're not putting me through a table. We'll have a match right now.
We
Don't
would
do
have.
that.
We would have
Through the table.
Me and you will have a match right now. Don't do that.
Eddie, I'm putting your boy
It's not gonna happen.
It would have lulled the show,
through the table.
Both of those are mine, by the way.
and so
I'm taking one off of him.
I'm so glad Tiffany won, and from what we thought was the obvious pick of Charlotte Flair, I'm so glad that she did not win. I think there was a lot of worry going into this Mania that there was no respect for any of our Royal Rumble winners, for either Jey Uso or Charlotte Flair, and so I am so glad one of them did win, and I'm glad the right one won.
It's Tiffy time! I told y'all, man. You can't get cooked like that. You can't get cooked. You can't come out and shoot on somebody and then get cooked like that and win. It's not the Vince era anymore, right? We've talked about like this change that Triple H has brought. He likes the real. He likes when you guys go at each other. He likes when it becomes a personal thing. And Tiffy cooked her. And I think Triple H went, man, you got cooked. We can't give you this. The fans don't want it. Fans hate it. Tiffy cooked you, and Tiffy's been a great young champion. She's going to be good for years to come. This win for you, Charlotte, would kill Tiffy. And I think they did the perfect decision here, picking Tiffy over Charlotte. Quick analysis.
I completely agree with that. I didn't know what Charlotte said that was off script. I didn't know what she said. I thought Tiffy went off script when she said the whole thing about you're 0-3. And I thought,
that
okay,
was fire.
She got cooked and she went off script. You have to get punished. Charlotte's going to win. And it also gives the respect that Charlotte won the Royal Rumble. So she gets the title.
Yeah.
But since nobody wanted her winning the Royal Rumble, she went off book. She still got cooked. She loses the match. Yeah, basically. Tiffy in 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Tiffy, Whiffy, Biffy, Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5.
And I think that
wraps up night 1.
to end it off, we'll go quick.
I'll go quick.
Lyra Valkyria's
3 minutes.
teammate. Who do you think it is, Matt?
I think it's AJ Lee.
Dude, I like that. I like
AJ
that.
Lee makes her return at
He's been
WrestleMania 41
smoking
tomorrow.
dick tonight. That's crazy.
I haven't smoked enough.
What are we thinking, Devin? What are we thinking?
This is a curveball, but she just left the other company. Sierra, aka Paige.
Ooh, that's fun. That's fun.
That's a terrible prediction, but
that's fun.
Hey, look, he went AJ Lee.
He went AJ
He
Lee.
went AJ Lee, and she hasn't been in any company.
All right, let's do our actual job because I'm the predictor. And I predict it's going to be Roxanne Perez.
I predict.
I just think the feud between Bayley and her makes sense. Roxanne throws her into a wall, breaks her shoulder. Now that match is set up for after Mania. You can go.
Tatum Paxley.
And you
That-
said my
And you
prediction
said
was
his is
bad?
They have history in NXT. They at least have history together. And that's about it.
You
Watch
know,
it be Chelsea Green.
watch me. Watch
That'd
it.
be
Watch.
fucking- that'd be
Watch.
fantastic.
Watch it.
I would
Just
love
the
that.
fucking 2 mid-card champions.
right, exactly.
All right, quick. Randy Orton's opponent.
Randy Yoda.
Can I go
Randy-
first? I'll go first.
I'm gonna go first. It's Rusev
You
Day.
dickhead.
It's Rusev Day, man. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be Rusev. We're gonna hear Rusev Butria, Rusev Machka, and it's gonna be time.
Yeah.
All right, Devin, who do you got?
Oh, I guess that doesn't really matter.
So since
'cause
he
we're not
stole,
doing a video.
since he stole my initial one, I'm gonna go like I'm gonna go completely like off book of what I originally thought. John Moxley. No, I'm joking. He's
That's
under
crazy.
he's under contract for like
He's under
5 years.
contract.
Honestly, it's gonna be Rusev. It's that simple. Or it's gonna be Nick Aldis.
Matt.
Or is going to be Bill fucking Goldberg. That bald bastard wants to get in the ring.
bald bastard?
He wants it one more time. And I think Randy is the great last opponent for Bill Goldberg.
legend killer.
WrestleMania 41. Bill Goldberg goes down one last
All right,
time.
Eddie.
For good.
How do you follow that
For
up?
good.
I'm going to be honest. It is not Bill Goldberg. It's probably the farthest thing from Bill Goldberg.
To be honest, Brock Lesnar is closer than Bill.
I wish the camera was on because that's the
And-
short. That's
and-
the short, dude.
And it is... It's Rusev. It's Rusev. It's not... It's not the old man.
You got one more in him.
You just need one more in him. You just need one more. You need one
Oh
more. Give
my
him
God.
My boy Bill Goldberg got to show it. Big Bill Goldberg. Yeah. You say, go ahead, Bill. Go ahead. Go ahead, get it one more time. One more time. Bill Goldberg, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Goldberg. Yes, Bill Goldberg.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah, come on, man.
that's Pod-A-Mania. Thank you for joining us. For Dylan, Eddie, Matt, and Devin. That was night 1 of WrestleMania. Thank you for watching. You can get all of our social medias wherever Eddie puts them on the
Follow the
goddamn
damn
screen.
podcast.
Follow the podcast on Twitter. Follow Devin on Insta. Follow me, Matt, and Eddie on Twitter. And thank you for watching. Hopefully we're back for night 2. I might have to pay Matt to come.
I won't be here.